Welcome to a new planetary and seismic update. It has been remarkably quiet seismically. If you look at the SGI graph with magnitude 5.6 and larger earthquakes, we actually see a clustering here on the 16th, 17th, and then really not much. 5.7 at the South Sandwich Islands region and a 6.1 Santiago del Estero, Argentina. That was on the 23rd. And that is only one 6-pointer in about 10 days, which is way below average. And the last stronger earthquake occurred later on the 24th at Honshu, Japan. Despite some really critical planetary geometry, as you can see, these are the red peaks, the purple peaks. We see the stronger earthquakes, the seismic response to that planetary geometry, but it has not been much. Now, since yesterday morning, the 26th, we had some really critical lunar geometry with Mars and Neptune, which I've been referring to since November last year. If you look at the solar system, we see the double right angle geometry with both Mars and Neptune within about 4 hours, and that was yesterday morning. And there is a high probability that within about 2.5, 3 days, we can have a megathrust earthquake. It happened in the past. We know that this kind of geometry can trigger this kind of seismic activity. And on top of that, it has been more than 2 years since the last magnitude 8 earthquake. So it is very well possible that in about 24 hours, within the next 24 hours, we can have a megathrust earthquake. Whether or not this is going to happen very much depends on the condition of Earth's crust, whether or not there is a fault section that has reached the tipping point and is about to slip over a huge distance. We're talking about hundreds of kilometers for a megathrust earthquake to occur. If we look at the next time frame on the SGI graph, we see primarily critical lunar geometry. This has a lot to do with Mars and Neptune, but also with Jupiter and Uranus. In the next several days, we continue to have right angle geometry, but not with Mars and Neptune. This is not in an opposite fashion. And we see a high lunar peak on the 29th. And this is because of the lunar geometry with Mars and Neptune and also with Jupiter and Uranus. This is pretty much clustering around the 29th and the 30th. High lunar peaks primarily, and we only have one planetary conjunction. That is actually today, it happened this morning with Sun, Earth and Saturn. So again, whether or not we're going to have a big earthquake, it is a big question mark, but we do know that the planetary geometry here, or better, the lunar geometry, actually favors such a large seismic event. If we look at the atmospheric fluctuations, it was also quite remarkable because from the 12th to the 24th there wasn't really much. The atmosphere has been relatively quiet. Not much disturbance going on there. It really resumed on the 24th. I marked here the region south of Africa and also to the north, the Mediterranean, just a little bit west of Italy and also south of Iceland. And then later on the 25th, we also had fluctuations, and they marked the region just north of New Zealand or North Island, New Zealand. And to the north, that is the Lothian Islands, Vanuatu Islands region, and then further north also northern Japan, possibly the Kuril Islands region. And to the north of Japan, Kuril Islands, that is a candidate for a megathrust earthquake. It's not the only one, but it is one of the regions there. It hasn't been a megathrust earthquake in that region for quite some time. And then on the 26th, we also had some fluctuations marking west of Australia and also to the north, northern Sumatra, possibly the Andaman Islands region. And that is also a region where a megathrust earthquake could occur sooner or later. This is probably, it is going to happen. The last time that region really slipped was in 1762 with a magnitude 8.8. That was the Arakan subduction zone just north of the Andaman Islands. And that's near Bangladesh. Then further north, just north of Bangladesh, also a fluctuation. So which region will be next for a bigger earthquake? Difficult to say. The atmospheric fluctuations, they are a significant indicator, but it's not perfect. You can look up the website for additional updates, including the atmospheric fluctuations. So be on extra alert. We could have a big quake in the next 24 hours. If we look at similar geometry like with Mars and Neptune, we also have the example of 1957, which I discussed in the previous update, and that example tells us that it can take another 4 weeks for this megathrust earthquake to occur. If it were to happen in the next 24 hours or in the next few weeks, it would still be the 5th largest earthquake in the last 20 years or so. So it isn't just a seismic event. So check out the website, be on extra alert. Until next time.